Hey friends, this video is on the art of presence, mindfulness, and perhaps most importantly, and most specifically for this video, on the art of stillness. So, what is stillness? Well, it most definitely is not New Age nonsense, nor is it the domain of people who are unconcerned with productivity and worldly accomplishment. In fact, stillness is, in most cases, at, or at least a foundational part of the very foundation of highly creative and productive mind. Before we move on, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Okay then, what exactly do I mean by presence, mindfulness, and stillness? Well, presence and mindfulness are popular subjects in the 21st century, so you probably have a good idea, if not general, what is meant by the terms, but many people nevertheless aren't exactly clear in what's meant by presence and mindfulness. And for its part, stillness is not nearly so common a topic of discussion, so it definitely bears a clear explanation. So presence is defined as being, interestingly enough, present in this moment. Now imagine that, eh? Present with our mind and senses, focused exclusively in the here and now. Now, as simple as this concept is, as you probably know, it is much harder than it might appear to be in actual practice, because our brains naturally race from rumination, worry, and regret over the past to anticipation, worry, and concern over the future. Our minds are also trying to connect or relate everything to everything else, to make sense of things and to judge things as either good or bad, safe or dangerous. Our minds naturally do these things as a safety or survival mechanism. So understanding and accepting the nature of our brains is a first step and paramount, really, to creating the inner peace that our souls crave. It's also necessary to a meditative practice, as many people feel they just aren't capable of meditating because their darn mind just won't stop. It's human nature, or should I say it's neurobiological nature, for our minds to constantly wander, flitting from rumination, worry, or regret over some past thing, real or imagined, and jumping forward to fear, anticipation, and preparation for some imagined future thing that may or may not come. But when we remain present, we anchor our mind, our attention, our intention, our senses, our awareness fully in the here and now. And our mind will naturally move away. So when we notice our mind has left our intention to remain present, we just gently, patiently, and compassionately bring it back to the present moment. And that is effectively what the foundation of what meditation is. It's the practice of remaining present, focused, the practice of training our mind to still, quiet, and focus on a desired object of intention. So presence is simply stilling the mind's natural tendency to ruminate the past or project into the future and keep our attention, intention, and awareness in the here and now. So, what then is mindfulness? Well, mindfulness includes presence plus more. In the most common definition, being mindful means to remain present, but also to effectively step back and observe yourself in the moment. Observe how you're feeling, how you're behaving in the here and now. In mindfulness, you disengage, almost like a third person, observing how you're feeling, how you're acting, and how you're reacting. Not judging or criticizing yourself, but simply observing yourself in a detached manner. But let's take mindfulness a little further. We step back and observe our beingness and doingness, our behavior, from a detached third-person perspective and without judging or criticizing ourselves, but with compassion and patience, well, then we can effectively coach ourselves into being a higher version of ourselves in the moment and, of course, in the future. The goal with mindfulness is not just to detach and observe, but to do so with the ultimate intention on improving some aspect of ourselves and improving our life experience as well. We want to grow, develop, and be our best selves, doing our best work, achieving optimal outcomes with ourselves and with our work, remaining otherwise present in this moment, right? Because the ultimate utility and power in mindfulness is not to simply be able to observe ourselves in a detached manner. Mindfulness's ultimate value is as a tool for us to grow and develop as a human being, to become a higher version of ourselves, doing better works, stretching and reaching higher levels with our lives and our potential. With mindfulness, we're also intent on improving some other aspect or aspects of ourselves. We want to grow, develop, be our best selves, doing our best work, achieving optimal outcomes with ourselves and our work, right? Remaining otherwise present in this moment. So for example, let's say you want to improve your relationship with your partner, and you know that in order to be your best self, doing your best work, achieving optimal outcomes in your relationship, you need to be more attendant to and perhaps less dismissive or ignoring of your partner. So, let's assume you're speaking with your partner right now. You're in your living room, you're in your kitchen, just the two of you. So you focus your attention and your intention on him or her and on practicing this higher version of yourself. That is, you remind yourself to remain mindful and to attend to and in no way ignore or dismiss your partner. You see, you're already being mindful. You've reminded yourself to remain present and mindful with your partner. Good job. Now, to succeed in your ultimate attention and in your relationship, you'll have to remain present and mindful with your partner throughout this time together, whether it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, or an hour. Because otherwise you might, and by might I mean you probably will, default to your past habitual behaviors, like maybe staring through your partner's head, or here's a modern rarity, pulling out your smartphone and doing useless busy work. The game's off. Suddenly, in spite of your noble and productive initial intention, because you didn't remain mindful with your partner and with yourself, you failed yourself. You failed your partner. You failed your relationships. Okay, so how does stillness differ from presence and mindfulness? Well, stillness takes presence and mindfulness perhaps one step further. Isn't it true that we can be present yet not feel a stillness in our spirit, a peace, let's say? I mean, all hell could be breaking loose around us, right? Literally or metaphorically. And we could remain present in the here and now. And because of the all hell that's broken loose, we're not feeling or experiencing much or any inner stillness or peace, right? Well, the same goes with mindfulness. We can remain present and mindful and even step back from ourselves as a third person. But that second person who's actively involved in the moment is still not still or peaceful inside. So we can remain present, yet not particularly feel still within. But on the other hand, we can also remain present while remaining still within. So it's not like the two are mutually exclusive, right? For example, let's assume we're in a tense situation with other people. Situation with heightened emotions. Ever been in one of those? We might be very present with this situation while also feeling quite agitated and devoid of any inner stillness and inner peace. Our inner state may match the chaos and conflict of the outer situation. Or, on the other hand, and here's an ideal scenario, we can be in a chaotic and stressful external situation while remaining present, mindful, and still within. And bingo, that is the ticket. Stillness, remaining centered, calm, and still within, even when we're in the middle of a torrential external storm. In effect, we place ourselves perpetually in the eye of the storm. So to be clear, stillness does not require there to be chaos, stress, or mayhem around us, though this might be the most valuable time for us to access and practice a state of inner stillness. Stillness is equated with inner peace, a centeredness, a deep sense of personal power. So let's come up with a definition for stillness then. Let's say that stillness is that sense of inner peace and personal power that our human spirit innately craves, and that no external force is greater than our inner force. That sense that all is good, our world is safe, and we are the masters of our existence. So why is stillness so valuable to a life well lived? Well, I think it's pretty darn obvious, right? But for the sake of clarity, once again, let's briefly discuss it. You do want to feel inner peace, right? Our souls all crave it. You also want to have the ability to create the state of inner peace for yourself at your calling, right? To not be reliant upon the stillness gods, if there were such a thing, to smile upon you whenever their capricious minds decided to smile upon you, right? And you do want to feel and know you have the power to actualize the personal growth and development, the progress that your soul craves, right? And you want to be the master of your life experience. Specifically, the other positive states, in addition to presence and stillness, you want to experience these things that in fact define happiness and fulfillment for people. Well, if you want these things, and I'm guessing you probably do, then your ability to master some reasonable ability at stillness is imperative. Thanks, friends. As always, wishing you the greatest in peace, personal power, and prosperity.